Joining me now is Colorado Democratic Senator and member of the Intelligence Committee, Michael Bennet. Senator, your reaction, sir, to Mike Waltz leaving the administration following the Signal debacle, or do you believe there's more to it?
Oh, I think there's more to it. I think it is an extraordinary moment that even Donald Trump is admitting that he can't sustain a national security advisor's presence who had the bad wisdom of sharing a signal chain with Jeffrey Goldberg. I think it's probably the case that what President Trump is maddest about is the fact that he shared it with a reporter from The Atlantic. The real problem is that Secretary Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense, somebody who should never have been confirmed to begin with, shared battle plans and classified information on that signal chain with his wife and two brothers, among other people. So I agree completely with the senator from Illinois. He should resign as well.
Do you think that is possible? It has also been suggested by Democrats there in the Senate that the reason Mike Waltz is out, part of it, a contributing factor, would be to try to shield Pete Hegseth, at least for a while, that he's taking the fall, a fall that potentially Pete Hegseth, some believe, should be taking.
I think that's very possible. Look, it's so amazing when Donald Trump put Pete Hegseth on the floor of the Senate for a confirmation vote. I got calls from people all over Colorado who were saying, doesn't he know that he's totally unqualified? How is it possible that these Republican senators would vote to confirm Pete Hegseth? And the answer to that is, of course, Donald Trump knew. He knew how unqualified Pete Hegseth was. He knew that he didn't have the temperament or the experience to be Secretary of Defense, but he wanted to force the Republican senators to walk the plank on Pete Hegseth to show that they were so loyal to him, that is Donald Trump and his cult of personality, that they would be willing to vote to confirm somebody like Hegseth. Don't forget, I think Donald Trump had at least 5 secretaries of defense in his first administration because none of the people would be subservient enough to Donald Trump. All of those people, to one extent or another, believe they had a duty to the Constitution and a duty to our troops. In Pete Hegseth, he found somebody whose loyalty is only to one person. That's Donald Trump. And I'm sure that President Trump believes that somehow he'll put this crisis behind him by throwing Waltz over the side, but I don't think that's going to work.
Senator, are you hearing anything, whispers behind the scenes there from your Senate Republican colleagues, those who opposed Pete Hegseth audibly, vociferously before the actual confirmations hearing, saying there was no way they were going to vote for him? Susan Collins comes to mind. I mean, what kind of a position does it put them in today? What are they saying?
Well, I think it puts them in a terrible position, and we have to continue to work and work and work to make sure the American people know how crazy this is. I mean, they have said that it's not classified. They have said that it wasn't battle plans. I hate to say this in a sense, but as a member of the Intelligence Committee, I've rarely seen anything as classified as what Pete Hegseth put out in that signal chain. And I believe these drumbeats are going to grow and grow and grow. And, you know, you've seen President Trump said there's no way Waltz is ever going to be ejected by his administration. Now he has been. And I think Pete Hegseth will not be far behind.
Senator, I know that we brought you on to talk about tariffs. I thank you for taking questions on this breaking news.
Sure.
But as I do want to throw a question your way, President Trump talked yesterday about kids' toys potentially costing more due to his tariffs, and he was suggesting that, well, kids may not be able to have 30 toys. They may just be able to get 2. The Senate yesterday, as you know, rejected a bipartisan attempt to undo the president's tariffs. Democrats knew this measure would never pass the House. So where is the power that Democrats have to push back on the president on this topic?
I think that power is actually coming from small businesses all over our country that are banging on their members of the Senate, Democrats and Republicans, to say we've got to stop this irrational tariff war. There are a lot of us who think that a targeted strategic approach with respect to China makes a lot of sense, but taking on the entire world at once has meant that this has been a tariff war actually among our, against our allies, but also against American businesses. And I'm hearing from people that I'm sure I'm sure half the people that I've heard from about this at home are Republicans who think that Donald Trump has actually been the worst president that small business and their workers have ever had, because this is so self-inflicted. It's like Donald Trump always talked about the China flu. This is a tariff flu that's been created by one American. That's Donald Trump. And he is destroying our supply chains as a result. And I think we've got to push back, and we will.